Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 10th annual Reiki Rays Global Healing Summit. My name is Yolanda, and we are here today with Mark Hosak and Eileen Wiesmann. Thank you both for taking the time to educate us today.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much to being here.
Yes. So we have an incredible conversation. I know you're going to share with us about your recent trip to Japan and talk a bit about the Reiki symbols and how they show up as living expressions within daily life and ritual. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure everyone knows your background. So, Mark Hosak shows Reiki masters and practitioners how to enhance their Reiki skills and perception in order to awaken their innermost talents and live their true desires. A Reiki practitioner since 1993 and a lover of ancient Japanese culture, Mark has been searching for the roots of Reiki and the symbols in the footsteps of Mikao Usui for more than 25 years. He studied Japanology and East Asian art history at Heidelberg University and lived for 3 years in Japan with 2 scholarships for research about the Reiki symbols and Buddhist rituals at Kyoto University. During his stay in Japan, he also became a calligrapher and a Buddhist monk. With this knowledge, Mark founded the Reiki style Shingon Reiki in 2005. This is traditional Usui Reiki, Kuji-kiri, and Kuji-in in Buddhist Taoist healing with mantras, mudras, and symbols. Today, he provides training in Shingon Reiki, Buddhist and Taoist healing, Tai Chi, and Qigong, and online courses in English and German. Mark is the author of several books and articles on Reiki and the Buddhist art of healing and esoteric Buddhism. He translates spiritual texts from classical Japanese and explains the connection between Japanese history, culture, religion, and spirituality to understand Reiki from its roots. Eileen Wiesmann came to Reiki after an emergency operation with a near-death experience. Given up by conventional medicine, she started to learn Shingon Reiki. With this combination of Usui Reiki and Buddhist Taoist healing, Eileen was able to start a new life without chronic pain and frequent operations. In 2020, she wrote an article about her personal healing story in the German Reiki magazine. As a historian with a focus on religious history, it is very important to Eileen to bring spirituality and science together. She was born as a highly sensitive scanner personality and as an empath. At an early age, she developed an interest in spirituality. She collected stones and crystals whose ascribed energetic effects she learned extensively. Then there was a phase in her life where she devoted herself fully to science and didn't want to have anything to do with spirituality anymore. But deep in her heart, she never forgot spirituality and always came in contact with people who recognized her spiritual abilities. Since 2015, she has been practicing meditation intensively and soon afterwards began to learn Qigong, Tai Chi, and in Qigong lessons, she noticed parallels to Reiki and other methods with hands-on healing. Today, she combines her passion for stones and crystals with Qigong, Reiki, and meditation. She is also planning a doctoral thesis on Taoism in Japan. And due to her closeness to nature, she is also intensively educating herself in the field of shamanism. Wow, quite impressive. So, as I mentioned in the intro, you both just recently returned from Japan and have some incredible information to share with us about what you learned about the Reiki symbols. So, can you start with telling us a bit about this trip and what about the symbols really was illuminated for you?
Yes, we traveled for 6 weeks through Japan and we visited a lot of temples from different Buddhist schools. So this was very fantastic because we had the chance that we could see how the monks did rituals and incense and all this, and we had also rituals who the monks did rituals for us, so you can book this. And when you are there in the temple and in the beautiful Japanese gardens around the temples, then you can see a lot of symbols. And they are on pillars or in the temple, and there are symbols everywhere. And there is a relation to the Reiki symbols, even if you don't see the Reiki symbols, but in the mental healing symbol Seiheki, there is an older version you can see in the temple. It is called Shri, and it's an old Sanskrit symbol. And later Mark will tell his story with the symbol 20 years ago. And so we had this special atmosphere everywhere and this energy everywhere. And so when we visited all these temples, we could feel that now we are at a place where Reiki was born, and Reiki is a syncretism from different traditions, from Buddhism and shamanism. And in Japan, the shamanism is called Shinto, but there are also a lot of Chinese influences from Taoism. Taoism is also, we say it's a philosophy, but it's very related to shamanism, to nature. And all these things come together in Japan. And in Japan, they made a mix from all of this. You have a temple, and then there's also a Shinto shrine, and some Buddhas are also worshipped as kamis in the shrine. So it's really it's mixed, and it's like a wonderland, very fantastic. And there is where Reiki was born. Reiki is a syncretism which was born from a syncretism culture, you can say. Yes, and you also see this in the Reiki symbols.
So can I ask you a question about this? Because with what you're sharing, it sounds like, you mentioned there were a lot of symbols at the temples and on different pillars. So I think a lot, especially in the West, we associate, the symbols with Reiki, the ones that we learn within the system. But it sounds like you're saying that symbolism is very, perhaps, big in the culture already, even beyond Reiki symbols. Is it just a common thing that symbols are a big part of all of these practices?
Yes, it's very common. It's because of the script. In Japan, they have imported the Chinese script, and they are all like small icons. So if you have a sign of school name, for example, then you see those characters, and they look like the Honsha Shonen, like the remote contact symbol, for example. And then you have pillars, also with temple names, and those temple names also have a symbolism. And then there are not only pillars, but also pagodas for certain rituals in Buddhism. And there we have kanji and also Sanskrit symbols, which are related to the, for example, to the Reiki symbols, to the Seiheki, because the root of this is such a Siddham. And yes, you can see those almost everywhere. And then there's also one interesting point, because the way how they carve it into the stone, it's not always the same script. Sometimes it's something like an energetical artwork. So we have seen in Inari shrines, so in Shinto shrines, shamanist shrines in Japan, the character for a kami, for a spirit or a shamanic god, it's written that one part of it looks like the chocorée. So there's a spiral inside, and this means energy is coming here. And if you translate chocorée just this word, then it means that the spiritually will come here and now at the moment. And so this means the symbolism is one part is just the meaning of words, and one part is the energy or sacred, holy, and secret symbols. And people who know it, they know, oh, this is the spirit characters about energy that comes inside. And people who don't know it, they think, oh, what a nice calligraphy, for example. Yeah. So if you know something, then you can read and understand the deeper and hidden meaning. So there's always something like a key. If you don't know, you just say, oh, what a nice stone, take a picture and go on. And same, for example, in Kurama Mountains. When we went there, a lot of people went to Kurama Mountains. They climbed up the mountain, looked at everything, and were wondering where was Usui doing his meditation, and then they climbed down again. It took us about 5 days to see everything on the same path, what you can do in a few hours, because there's so many small Shinto shrines, where in each shrine is a spirit, and it's possible to talk with those spirits and to know more about the Kurama mountain or about Reiki, because they know a lot and they can talk about it and the connection to nature. And then there are symbols, not only characters. Something is looking like a flesh made of paper, and this means this place is sacred, and the energy comes here also through this flesh, and there's a connection to the master symbol. So it's everything full of it.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, because I hope people understand when I was asking about the symbols, I wasn't talking about kanji, but actual symbols. So like even you saying this, that there may be part character, but also part like this energetic symbolism that's happening, is very, very interesting. So can you tell very distinctly the difference between the kanji and the symbols?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for most people, the kanji are a written script that we can read, a newspaper. Yeah? But the origin of the kanji has nothing to do with reading the language. The kanji were made in China for doing rituals originally. And what we do with a Reiki symbol is something like a Reiki ritual. It could be the attunement, initiations, yeah? Or it could be a healing. It's like a ritual because we do something, so the usage of the symbols, and this is some kind of ritual work. And in ancient China, they also did rituals with those characters for divination, for example, also for healing, that you write the symbols on the top of something, or you write it on a bamboo and give it to the fire, that there will be a fulfillment of a wish. And it was possible to use some of those kanji not as meaning, but for rituals, to make aura clearings. For example, there you take the kanji of a dragon. So today it's just a word for dragon, but before, if you have an attunement in this, then you could use this dragon, paint it in the aura of a person or on a ghost house where ghosts are, and then the dragon will go inside and all ghosts will fly out. Yeah. So this is very normal. So the idea that a kanji is just a word is very new in comparison to the age of the existence of the kanji. So this means those characters we have already 6,000 years. And the lesser time of the 6,000 years, so about 2,500 years, it's for writing. Yeah? And this is the difference. This means if we have kanji in master symbol and Honshazi Shonen, then we can talk about the meaning, but also about the spiritual aspects. It's both in one. Like syncretism, like Eileen said, there's Buddhism in a Shinto shrine and shamanism in a Buddhist temple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is very interesting because it sounds like you're emphasizing there's an essence within each symbol. And would you say then that the practice of something that we would call ritual, what activates the essence? Is it our intention? Is it the merging, becoming one with? How is it that, this is viewed, say, with the beautiful rituals you got to experience with the monks at the temples? Do they draw them out as part of the ritual, or is it just the presence of the symbols being there?
We have been at a fire ritual in Koyasan, Shingon mountain, very famous. And I was also the translator for him from Japanese to English, and sitting almost side by side. And there we could see that he was using, for example, sticks to give them in fire, and he was writing with his hands the symbol on the symbols he used for this on those sticks. And the symbols he used were Siddham script. And this means in Reiki we have the Seiheki, and the root of this is one Siddham character, also called Bonji. So different names for the same thing. So that's, we can see they are handwriting the symbols in the air.
Very interesting.
Maybe this would be now good when you show how to use the symbols in the way the monks do. So we could make a quick Reiki practice, how you can use the Reiki symbols on the partner, how it is done traditionally in Japan.
Okay.
Do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Do you mean just with the hand or with the mudra?
Just with the hand, like it is done in the Reiki method, yes.
Yes. But also the monk was using the hand, but they're different.
Yeah, they have different mudras for the hand, but we will keep it very simple now that it's very easy that you can try it at home without knowing too much about mudras and all these things.
Yes, and I show it on you.
Yes.
And can you see us?
Yes, I'm gonna pin you though to make you bigger for everyone.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So it's quite easy. What I said before on those sticks for the fire, we can. So this is almost the same in the Reiki methods. That means I take my hands here, and now I would like to make, for example, an aura cleansing, and then I use a chakra. So I imagine the symbol here, and I use it with my hand, drawing it, and then I still visualize it, holding my hands, and say 3 times chakra, chakra, chakra. And with intonation of the chakra 3 times, it's of course my intention to activate it, but the way how I do it is an old method how it is done in Shingon Buddhism and in Taoist shamanism. So this is the same practice. And now I have the symbol, and the symbol draws energy, in this case from my hands to her, and I feel how it's getting warm. And so here's a lot of energy, and now I can, for example, switch to watching the energy system with my abilities, and so it's part of feeling and also watching and looking how something would fade away, for example, and going down, or is just being transformed by the big light of Reiki. And for this is with empowerment possible, and I also could move a bit and feel. And this treatment would be finished when I feel that the aura gets so strong that it presses me away. This is something what I can feel sometimes. And another thing is, if I would say I would like to go on the mental and emotional energetical system, then I think which symbol could be best for this. And then of course I use a seiheki, and also a chakra. That the energy will go straight to there, chakra, and then I could say energetical system of Eileen, energetical system of Eileen, energetical system of Eileen, and now I'm connected, and now this mental healing power and what it is, Eileen will tell us later, will go into the energetical system and is doing everything what is to be done. And I still held my hands here until I feel now it's good, or until I'm blown out of the room. And then I don't know. Now then it would be finished. And this is same what the monks do. But monks also have ropes, and sometimes they don't want to show, so they are doing some inside the rope. But sometimes, like in this fire ritual on Koyasan, it was possible to see what he is doing. And this was similar to this also.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Yes. So it sounds like, too, not just the drawing, you mentioned the intention that's tied into, but a big part of it, it sounds like for you, is the observing of, like, the observation and kind of just sensing when everything is complete. And the only reason I bring this up, Mark, is because sometimes practitioners are unsure of what they're supposed to be doing when, say, working with a symbol. Like, they don't know if they should be intending that something specific is happening, but instead it sounds like you just trust that the symbol will do, or the energy will do the work, and you're just simply observing. Is that right?
Both is possible. So first step, I use the symbols, then I will observe to know what's going on, and to know how much Reiki is important, and to know whether I need something else, somewhere else, a symbol or something like this. But then beyond this, it's also possible to use the hands and the visualization and other things, that if something, for example, energy would be stuck, that it's possible to bring energy inside, or to make it flow, or to transform it, or whatever is important. And this observation of the energies is important for us to be able to know what to do in this individual situation. So if I only trust, then I'm just waiting. If I go inside and I look inside, then I know, okay, there he needs help. And then I go further more here, for example. So this is our specialty in Shingon Reiki, to work like this. It's trust, and also going with everybody, with the client, and not doing always the same to everybody. It's individualization.
Yeah. And I know that you say that, the system of Reiki is comprised of various, we'll say, systems, principles, teachings, whether it's Buddhism, Shintoism, and there was one other that you said. But also we see this variation in the Reiki symbols where, the first symbol it looks like a symbol. The second symbol, as you say, is derived from free. And then we have the other two that look like they are kanji. So is there, from what you've learned about this, is there a reason that some were just symbols versus the ones that are kanji? Is there a different effect with the use depending on how they're written out or what they're derived from?
Do you want to begin?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So we explained before that Mikao Usui was living in Japan, where there's syncretism of those spiritual traditions. This means Taoism, Buddhism, Shintoism, shamanism came together. And this might be the reason why he used everything. He didn't use all those traditions because, okay, we have those 3 traditions and I take one from here, one from here, one from here. As far as I know, he gave us the symbols that it is easier for us to do things with Reiki. For example, it could be it's very easily possible to make a remote contact without the Honsha Seishonen, without any symbol. But it's much easier to do it with the symbol, even though the symbol looks complicated. And it's not possible to say a symbol from this tradition is stronger than from this tradition or so. Yeah, I don't think so. But for example, to bring spirituality from one place to another, the perfect symbol is the chokurei, and you will not find anything else in Buddhism or in other traditions, because there's this symbol, and the symbol is not a character. It's really, like you say, it's a symbol. Yeah, and but it also has a deep meaning. For example, why is here a flat stroke before it goes down and then there's a spiral? There's a meaning inside. Yeah? And the meaning is that it comes from another place to us, and then it goes, for example, from heaven to earth, and from there inside of us. And in shamanism, it's common that there's a connection of heaven and earth, and in the middle is a shaman. Yeah, for example, and this you can also see in the, for example, here. This is a calligraphy of the Reiki kanji. Yeah, so we can say it's just a script, but it's also it's much more. And here this means shaman, and this line is the heaven, the sky, and this is earth. And here is a shaman in between, and they make this connection here. Yeah? And this we can see in the chokurei. Yeah? So this symbolism is here, and this means rain. And then the shaman do prayers and rituals. Yeah, 3 mouths means a prayer to get rain, and the rain is not only water; it's a blessing. Yeah, so some blessing will come from somewhere down, yeah, and then inside is chokurei, for example. Yeah, and maybe you explain something, Eileen, with where we have it here with the key character.
Yes, here in the key character, this is the country for energy and life energy, because we have here the rice corn inside, and it goes out so that the plant can come out. And so we see that here in the Reiki country we have spiritual life energy. So we know that it's a life energy which is very spiritual. It has to do something with spirits, Buddhas, kami, and so on. And this idea of energy and spiritual energy and spiritual life energy from different spirits, this is very present in Japan. So everything is about life energy. Even at places where you don't think that this could be the topic. So when you go in a shop and you want traditional Chinese or Japanese medicine, then they also ask you, do you practice, do you do your practices for energy flowing in the body? Because it's important to do this. Without then you don't need the medicine. It's important to combine it. And this is they believe that there's everywhere a spirit. And also in the medicine, our Atami Okasan, our
My homestay mother.
homestay mother in Japan, she told Mark at his first stay in Japan in the medicine, there is the spirit, and the
Japanese spirit.
Japanese spirit. So that there's everywhere a spirit, and the spirit helps us. And in the temple and in the shrine, you can also find the different kinds of spirits. And in Japan, it is very common that there are a lot of them. So they have the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the Kami, and also the ancient Indian gods. So it's really it's magic, pure magic there.
It's also like in daily life in Japan, this key character is, you can see it almost everywhere. For example, you have a van where you see this character with another kanji, and if you would transcribe it into our alphabet, then it's written Reiki. But it's not this ray, it's a ray for cold, and this means cold energy, and this means it's a refrigerator van, a cooling, so something where you transport something what needs to be cooled, and so this is a cooling energy in this case. Or there are phrases like he has long ki or short ki, and this means long life energy, short life energy. But the real meaning of this is kiga nagai or kiga mijikai, means if you have long energy, then you're a patient person. You will not get angry so soon. If your ki is short, then very quickly, and then they have words for this. If you say somebody is ill, you say byoki. Yeah? This means the energy of illness. Yeah? And if somebody is fine, then they say genki, and this means the life energy of his true self. It's genki, it's of his roots. Yeah? So there's this ki is really everywhere. And Reiki in daily life for normal people who do not know anything about Reiki, this is the energy of the deceased, yeah? The souls who went out of the body, and this means spiritual. So a spirit could be a ghost, a deceased soul, and a spirit, everything. And then some people say, hey, you are crazy, you're talking to the dead. Yeah? Then I say, yeah, this is possible, but there's also this wonderful healing practice, yeah, called Usui Reiki, and so. And they in this case, normal people do not know, and spiritual people do know very well. And so you see, it's really everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't that confusion, I guess we would say, because of we'll say like an older versus a more modern translation of that particular kanji? That's why people now, more and more modern times, would maybe see that and think that the symbol relates to ghost or the deceased. So is it that say, for example, if you went to the monks, and because whatever their studies entail, if they have more of a historical reference, would they also think that translation when they saw it? Or do they know because of the body of their work what that would really translate in the way that Yusui Sensei?
It depends on the education and on the school of Buddhism. So if you are, for example, a Zen monk, then, or in other words, all Buddhist monks do rituals for the deceased. This is normal. But some, for example, Shingon monks know more about rituals, and then, for example, they are able to get rid of a furry ghost. And Zen monks or Jodo monks will not be able to do this because the Zen monks are specialized on meditation, and Jodo monks on the Pure Land, that the soul will go to a pure land after death. And the Shingon monks do all this, including everything else what is more looking like magic and shamanism. And so there's this differentiation. And then it depends. So if you have a monk just studying to be a monk, then he is a beginner. He will not know so much. But if he is there for many years and you talk to him about Reiki, then they know a lot about it. But first they will listen to you. And after they listen to you, in most cases, they will not tell you anything. Not because they do not know, because they don't want to talk about their secrets. So sometimes it's also hard to say. But in most cases, when they recognize you do, for example, practice Shingon from the bottom of your heart, then they will tell you a lot. And then I can see that they know the spiritual meanings.
Very interesting. Also, because you all mentioned how, especially with the influence of Shinto and recognizing spirit in all things, even recognizing the kami, is that also that tie-in with, in the system of Reiki, that interconnectedness, like the oneness with all things? Because if spirit is present in all, wouldn't that be the unifier? Wouldn't that be maybe then that the people don't see themselves as separate from, if you're recognizing this like divine intelligence that's existing in all things?
In Japan, there's not the thinking that there's one big spirit. There are a lot. Eileen, maybe you can talk about your story as the umbrella ghost, the Karakasa Obake. This would be a very interesting example where we have spirits and how can they change in daily things.
Yes, so there are a lot of good spirits and also the bad spirits. And there is a famous believing in Japan, for example, if you have your umbrella and then it gets lost, so you forget it on a place and you go away, that this umbrella becomes a kind of spirit or a ghost. And there are also pictures which show how this ghost looks like. So it has one eye and here one leg and it is hopping around. And normal people are very afraid of this, so they say never take an umbrella a person forgot on a place. So even when it's raining, they say no, not this, because someone forgot this. And so we can see that a simple umbrella can become a spirit there, so in this believing system. And it's also very interesting that monks or people shamans and people who work with magic, they write in their books about the ghosts that just normal people are afraid of this umbrella ghost, and Karakasse Obake, they call it, because they say normally they don't do anything bad. So they just do funny things, but they are not dangerous.
Naughty things.
Naughty things.
Funny things.
It's naughty and funny, and but not really bad things. But normal people are afraid if it's a ghost, then ooh. So there are also a lot of good spirits there. So there are a lot of kami and a lot of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, not just one. And it is in shamanism. So there is the idea that there is a spirit in places, or in a sea, or in a forest, or in a tree, in a stone. So everything is a spiritual being, and so you have everywhere spiritual presence. And of course, we are all connected here on Earth, all our spirits. And so there are also special practices where you can connect with nature and trees and stones and so on in Japan and in China. In Buddhism, there is the idea that there is the great Sun Buddha, so Dainichi Nyorai, the source of the Reiki power, and every one of us is also Dainichi Nyorai. So you have this like a mandala. Or do you want to bring
Yes,
the mandala and see it? But of course, we are not everyone is the same. We have this origin, but we are individuals, and this, I think, that makes it so beautiful. We are connected. Yeah, that's beautiful. Here in the mandala, we see the great Sun Buddha, and then the Buddhas around, and all the Bodhisattvas and the human beings.
Maybe putting it a little back so that we can see. It's
Okay.
a little blurry.
Better up.
I think we get the gist of it. It's a little blurry, but you can see
We
the gist of it.
Oh, it's adjusting our faces. So maybe Eileen, if you stand up, and
okay.
then it will
It will
sharpen
it. Yeah.
better now.
No, but it's okay.
But it's okay. I think what is important is that we have here this flower, and here in the middle we have the great Sun Buddha, and then we can see other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas around, without details now, but we get the idea that everyone is connected with other beings. So we are all spiritual beings, and we have a connection. And this is also the reason why the Buddhist schools will we go back to the sofa maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe really good, yes. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
That these traditions like Shingon, or also the Tendai school, which practice these secret teachings, which we can also call magic if we want to give it a name. It's called Tantric Buddhism because it's a tantric teaching that everything is connected in the universe, so every being is connected. And so the idea what people have in the West of Tantra or Tantric, normally it's completely wrong. It has nothing to do with this original teaching, and that we are all connected beings.
That is very interesting. So I have to ask, before we go, because of what you were able to experience firsthand in your trip to Japan and wanting to come and share so much with us about what you realized about the Reiki and symbols in day-to-day life, is there anything else that you want to make sure that we as teachers and practitioners really get to know or understand? Anything that you learned or what you were exposed to?
Maybe the Seiki and compassion and canon.
Yes, okay. Don't
Talk about.
Yes. We talked now in our conversation sometimes about the mental healing symbol, and we also did this little practice. So maybe it's very interesting because we in the temple you can find the older version of the Seiheki, and this is like your journey with the symbols started over 20 years, 30 years ago.
In the mid-90s.
In the 90s, yes. Because Mark came to a temple and there he saw the symbol, and then he thought, oh, this is very similar to the Seiheki symbol. And
Are you talking about the free, or is it something else?
Yes.
yes.
Would you like to show that while you're talking about it?
Do we have a...
I have an image of it. I can show it just in case while you're talking. Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay, wonderful.
Oh, yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. This symbol, it is very important because it is related to a very famous spirit. So there are different spirits which are related to this symbol, so you don't just have one symbol and one spirit. There can be different spirits, but in this case the tree is related to Canon, and I have here, this is the Bodhisattva of Compassion. Here a card from a Zen monk. Can you see?
Yes.
And Canon is very famous in Japan. So this Bodhisattva of Compassion, the Japanese people love Canon. And I think that this was not different at the times of Usui. So I think this is a Japanese phenomenon, that they are very in love with canon, and you also can feel this in the culture. There's a culture of compassion where people are very, very friendly, and so I think that for Usui, canon was this idea of compassion, and canon was very present and important to him. So that he wanted that the Reiki practitioners had a symbol which connected them with canon, and so he made the mental healing symbol so that we can use this to clear our minds and the heart, because this is what canon does in Buddhism. It is important that we clear the mind and the heart so that we can have a very good life, because otherwise there are many things which are not so good, and then it can be very difficult that we come to real happiness. And so in the mental healing symbol we have this relation to the Bodhisattva, and of course we can also use the symbol and all symbols and Reiki to other persons. So we see how important this idea of compassion is in Japan. So we use it for ourselves, this is self-compassion, and for other persons. And this is very, very important. And canon is has different forms. So in the card we see it's a normal person, but there is also canon with 11 heads, and then canon with 11 heads and 1,000 arms. And the Seiheki is related to the canon with 1,000 arms, because when you have so many arms, then you can do a lot of compassionate actions. And I think that this shows how important this idea of compassion is in Japan and for Usui, and also in Reiki. And it's not a difference between ourselves and other persons. So everyone needs compassion, and we should to be good to ourselves and also to all other living beings, because we are connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. I think it's one of my favorite things about the system, because a lot of people hear energy healing and they think it's just laying of hands. But within the system, all of these beautiful teachings, as you say, like the purifying of our heart minds and being more compassionate, more loving, and recognizing this, the presence of this life force in all things. I think even that gives us a different kind of awareness of how we show up in life every day. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would love for us to know based on your travels?
Yes, one more thing could be about the remote contact symbols, the Honsha, the Shonen, because we recognized before that this is looking like kanji, and it's possible to see in there 5 kanji and to take them apart. And when we focus on the last 2 kanji, I brought a calligraphy of mine, then we have this in the in here. So if we take the sho and the nen, like the real kanji, it's looking like this. And if you translate this means mindfulness. So in the seiheki, we have the compassion. And in the honsha the shonen, we have the mindfulness. And I think this is a very important point. And mindfulness in Japanese, this means righteous, or to correct something, to improve something. And this is the mind. So it's this means here and now, and this is a spiritual heart. So it's a righteous spiritual heart in here and now, and the presence is mindfulness. So this is a character for this. So there we have a meaning of a kanji with a much deeper meaning. And this in the remote contact symbol or remote healing symbol is very interesting, because the whole thing means that it's about you will be mindful when you are in your true self. Yeah, this honsha is other part of this. And so what is connected in the remote contact is not the body of a person, that I touch the body with Reiki from distance. No, we touch the blueprint of the person. And with this, sending Reiki there, the person who receives Reiki remembers his true self and will be able to be mindful in the presence now, and then healing is possible. And this, in combination with the seiheki, what Eileen was talking about, the compassion, is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Again, like the connection between the symbols and almost like the journey they take us through in healing or in our own expression. So, us developing the compassion and us recognizing just not being separate from. I always think of that symbol as that, like it dissolves the illusion of separation in a lot of ways. Yeah, this is very, very interesting. So when you all came back, could you share with us before we go, maybe a few ways that you all use the essence of the symbols just in your own day-to-day lives?
Oh yes, what I love to do is using the mental healing symbol in different situations. So Shingon Reiki is focused on mental healing parts, not only the normal mental healing, but for different parts. For example, you can do it on the chakras or the solar plexus to relax very deeply, and you could touch the nerve system. And when Reiki and compassion goes into the nerve system, then you can, for example, relax very good. This is one daily thing. Another is that we use the symbols in a room to make great power fields, to sleep better, to work better, depending on the symbol, or just to clear energies we don't need. So those symbols are everywhere for us.
Yes, I love to do the mental healing in remote contact, because this is when you do it for yourself a bit easier. I work with affirmations for different topics in my life, and also with the mantras of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, because Mark lived with the monks 30 years ago, and so he can use the symbols from the temples, and you can combine this, and so then you have a mental healing with an affirmation, which is a modern phenomenon, and also the old mantras, and there you have the sound and the energy of this, and that's something I like very much.
Yes. It's beautiful. Yeah.
What is also interesting is the inner child is very happy to get in touch with the Reiki symbols, and that helps us to be more vividly like a child.
Yes, yes. Well, I wanted to ask you all as well, but I want to make sure we get this in before it's over. You do have an offer for everyone listening. So if you could share a bit about that and how we can continue these from.
Yes, we prepared a gift for you with a PDF with the Reiki symbols, how we write them, what they are looking, because there's so many variations, and the origins, and also the small use case we show in there and something, and just sign up for our newsletter, and we send you all information. And if you love the work like we work, then we will also introduce you the possibility to come to our Shingon Reiki symbol community, where we do everything about the Reiki symbols and secret techniques and how to make more power, and this viewing what we said and so on, that we work with this. So this is what we have for you.
And is the symbol community that's online?
Yes, this is online. This is on school.
Perfect. So everyone go right underneath the video down to the link and sign up for the newsletter to make sure that you get access to this incredible information. And you can also join Mark and Eileen within their online community and go even deeper, learning about some secret techniques around the symbols. I thank you both so much for taking time to come and share all of this with us today.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for being here with you.